I see. Well, I mean, I don't think that's particularly good news for us, but obviously if that takes our total tariffs to 50%, then that's going to make our goods unaffordable to a lot of people in America. And in particularly when you're looking at these percentages, you have to compare them with the tariffs being levied on some of our competitors. And I'm afraid if you look at people like Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, even Bangladesh and Pakistan have lower tariffs than us, then ultimately people will not be buying goods from us in America if they can buy them cheaper elsewhere. So that's not very good for our exports to America. This means we need to very seriously diversify to other countries and other markets which may be interested in what we have to offer. We now have an FTA with the UK, we are talking to the EU. There are many countries in which hopefully we would be able to, but in the short term it is definitely a blow. I don't think we can sugarcoat it. Uranium, palladium, there are various things that are importing from Russia, but there is unfortunately a certain double standard involved. They have given the Chinese a 90-day break, but the Chinese are importing far more Russian oil than we are. So clearly this has not been a particularly friendly gesture from a country we thought was well disposed towards us, or an administration that we thought was well disposed. Very clearly we have to act accordingly, and we will have to learn our lessons from this experience. I think there is certainly a likelihood there will be some pressure within India now to impose comparable reciprocal tariffs on American exports to India. So I think we're going to have to really start looking at other trading partners much more in these circumstances. We engage with all countries. We keep open lines of communication to all countries. Frankly, we were importing goods from China soon after they killed 20 of our soldiers. So it's not as if we have shut down relations with anybody. We are a country that believes in having multiple relations with multiple nations and partners. So I don't think that is going to change, but the emphasis, the opportunities, the degree of involvement, etc., will all be affected by an unfriendly development like this, certainly.
Well, this is pure and simple blackmail by America. Having said that, it's surprising that we've reached this spot where we can be bullied around by a superpower. When there was the peak of Cold War, we still managed to stand on our own. We are the architects of non-alignment. We did not tilt towards anyone and got the best from everyone. Having said that, over the last 11 years, what we have seen, the track record of our foreign policy, the track record of our diplomacy, the track record of our Prime Minister's own initiatives abroad, the diaspora events and so on and so forth, everything was targeted at highlighting the Prime Minister, projecting the Prime Minister and his personal image, not the country's interests. Here we are paying a price for 11 years of self-projection at the expense of the country.
Rahul Gandhi also mentioned which US is trying to do. You also subscribe to the idea, and what do you have to add on to this? Because
well, we hope and pray that at least now, just before he's turning 75, Mr. Modi flexes his muscle and refuses to be a coward that he has been all along. Whether in front of China, whether it comes to America, Mr. Modi has not really looked into their eyes.
असल 25 नहीं है 50 हो गया। मुझे ये लगता है कि ट्रम्प का दूसरा टर्म का मतलब हर समय इंडिया को गाली देने के लिए। क्यों ऐसा? हमारा देश का जो लीडरशिप है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर से सारा उसका मंत्रीगण, उसमें कोई कैपेसिटी वाला आदमी नहीं है। जितने बार इंसल्ट कर दिया, इसका पास संज्ञा भी नहीं है। हम रिटालिएट करना चाहिए, इसको उत्तर देना चाहिए, जवाब देना चाहिए। देश की प्रधानमंत्री को एक्स में 4th लार्जेस्ट दुनिया में फॉलोअर्स है। पहलगाम में जो हुआ उसके बाद इंडिया पाक एक वार सिचुएशन, उसके बाद ट्रंप ने कुछ बताया, अभी तक उत्तर नहीं दिया। दुनिया को ऐसा लगता है, बाकी देशों को ऐसा लगता है हमारा लीडरशिप बहुत वीक है, बोलने के लिए बहुत स्ट्रांग है, भाषण के बारे में स्ट्रांग है, काम के बारे में बहुत कमजोर है। इसलिए ज्यादा भाषण कम काम। ट्रम्प जैसा लोग इसलिए ज्यादा एकटा कर रहे हैं। फिर भी देश का हित, देश का इंटरेस्ट सबसे ज्यादा है, इसलिए रिटेलिएट होना चाहिए, डिस्कशन होना चाहिए।
He had been threatening and India was expecting it. If you say that India should not buy oil from Russia, can you provide oil at the same price as Russia is doing to us? Should we not look after our own interest? What is our national interest? That's more important. We are a country which imports about 80%, 86% of our requirements. So we are not going to just give in to these kind of, I would say, arm twisting tactics, whether by President Trump or anybody else.
Right. What are the options available to be their strategy according to you, sir?
In my view, we would be reciprocating, I'm quite sure, in certain ways, on certain items. You see, these kind of things are mutually destructive. And you know, the tariffs were finished after the GATT and this thing. I mean, tariff was not the way it could go. There were other provisions, and India was always within its rights. As far as Russian oil is concerned, you must remember, it is not something which is sanctioned. It is capped oil, and we have been buying within the capped $60 earlier, $47 now. We are negotiating with them if they buy. If they don't pay, they don't sell us at the price which is beneficial to us, we'll go elsewhere. At the end of the day, our import of oil, crude from United States has increased by 120%. With so many other countries, we are buying, 17, 18 countries we buy oil, maybe more. Now, we will continue to buy because the economy is growing. I have some, I don't have any proof of this, but it appears to me that the Americans probably, or the Western countries, are not very happy about India's autonomic rise as a major economic power.
अमेरिका ने एक्स्ट्रा जो 25% एडिशनल टैरिफ इंडिया के ऊपर इम्पोज किया है, डेफिनेटली वी आर वेरी कंसर्न अबाउट इट और हम लोग काफ़ी डिसअपॉइंटेड भी हैं। हाउएवर इसका जो इम्पैक्ट है ओवरऑल जो इंडियन इकोनॉमी में बहुत ही नेग्लिजिबल है। आज PHDCCI ने एक रिपोर्ट जारी करी है जिसमें कि 25% जो पहले टैरिफ लगाया था उसका एनालिसिस किया गया। तो 2024-25 में जो हमारा एक्सपोर्ट था US को करीब $88 बिलियन है। तो अगर इस टैरिफ का अगर हम इम्पैक्ट देखें तो इससे करीब 1.87% का इम्पैक्ट हमने एनालाइज किया, जो कि करीब $8.11 बिलियन है। लेकिन अगर ओवरऑल इकोनॉमी में इस 25% का इम्पैक्ट देखें तो 0.19% है। दैट मीन्स एडिशनल 25% विल हार्डली हैव ओवरऑल इकोनॉमी में करीब 0.38% may have। लेकिन इसका शॉर्ट टर्म में हमारे जो MSMEs हैं जो ऑलरेडी US के साथ ट्रेड एक्टिविटीज़ में इन्वॉल्व हैं, वो लोग कर रहे हैं, उनको ज़रूर वी आर कंसर्न अबाउट देयर एक्सपोर्ट कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस। लेकिन लॉन्ग टर्म में इंडियन इकोनॉमी ऐसे जो एक्सटर्नल शॉक्स हैं उसके लिए डेफिनेटली हमारी इकोनॉमी बहुत रिजिलियंट है, बहुत रोबस्ट है। और जो हमें अपने जो लिवरेज करना है वो डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड को करना है। और इंडियन इकोनॉमी हैज़ द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू डाइवर्सिफाई इन मैनी अदर इकोनॉमीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, जिसमें EU है और ऑलरेडी हमने UK के साथ एक ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट ऑलरेडी कर लिया है, FTA। आई थिंक दैट वी विल हैव टू एंटर इनटू अनदर ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट्स। एंड US के साथ भी हमारी ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि इंडियन और US गवर्नमेंट को डेफिनेटली इंगेज करना चाहिए डिस्कशन में और इसका ज़रूर समाधान निकालना चाहिए।
This evening, President Donald Trump has announced additional tariffs, imposed additional tariffs on India to the extent of 25%, taking the total tariff level to 50%. This will severely hit sectors such as drugs and pharmaceuticals, textiles, electricals and electronics, gems and jewelry. So this is certainly a reason for us in India to be concerned, but no reason for us to be alarmed. Because we must always keep in mind that India, unlike China, is just largely a domestically driven economy. In case of India, exports account for something like 18% of India's GDP. In case of China, the present export proportion to GDP is 20%, but at one time it had gone up to 30%. We presume that on the basis of some exercise that we have done internally, that this will cause a hit of about 20 BPS on the gross domestic product of India and 50 basis on exports. However, there would also be a hit to employment. Now, given this kind of an evolving macroeconomic scenario, India has to do some kind of a calibrated retaliation, diversify export sources, be resilient, forward-looking in its export strategy that balances self-reliance with global integration. Some other elements of this evolving strategy have to be tariff rationalization, attracting anchor investment, greater participation in global value chains, GCC, simplifying tariffs and lowering tariffs where we do not have adequate domestic capabilities. I am reminded of very famous Hindi poet Pradeep, who said, "हम लाए हैं तूफान से कश्ती निकाल के." In simple English, it would mean that we have weathered many storms in the past, like the global financial crisis of October 2008 or even the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are confident this will cause some hit, but will be able to weather this shock confidently.